If you like one of these video games, you're going to love Cantaloop. It's a point-and-click adventure turned into a board game.
I always wanted to run away with a melon, but I just cantaloupe.
But instead of pointing and clicking, you're looking and flipping through this book. Each page is a location to explore with such a well-illustrated, cohesive world that it doesn't feel like you're in a board game. It feels like you're in a comic book with a story to match.
And every great story needs a hook.
You play as Hook, a career criminal who's on a mission to break someone out of prison. And so you've come back to the German town of Cantaloupe.
It's just outside Fruitgart.
Hook is a wisecracking, lovable idiot, straight out of a video game. And you see the world through his eyes. So when you find this statue, he says,
I talked to it, but I think it's a little hoarse.
Exploring the world of Cantaloupe is a joy. Everything to discover has a code, which you look up on the opposite page and read the entry with this high-tech viewing device.
You can't read it until you've read it. Get it?
Some things can be interacted with, like this lighthouse lamp. You line up your magnifying glass to create a code.
I leave it on most of the time. It's so hot, I use it to dry my shirts.
Okay, so they're not all funny. Some entries will give you items which you can then combine with locations or items you've already found to get something you want. In Hook's world, you don't use guns and crowbars to break into a prison. You rely on a piece of gum and a potato.
Stick 'em up. It's a spud gum. Get it?
Every time you get a new item, you've unlocked a new world of possibilities, and you'll be flipping back and forth between all the locations, trying to find out where it can help you. It's such a natural way to interact with the world. You put the thing where you want to use it. And the response is instant. There's no faffing around with apps to get your answer.
You want me to post my phone? Well, I do like his music.
If you talk to a person, you flip to a conversation in the back of the book.
Hi there. I'm looking for the plans of the prison here in town. For, no particular reason. Do you have an appointment? No, but I do have a very disarming smile.
Everyone in Cantaloop has character, from the grumpy desk clerk to the geeky bouncer. The conversations do go on a bit for my liking, which you really notice when you're reading them out loud. It's like a cutscene snatching the steering wheel, and you just want to go back to playing the game. A case of being a bit too faithful to the less fun aspects of point and clicks.
Alright, so I like the sound of my own voice. Well, when you're not voicing me. You know I'm supposed to be German, right?
Cantaloop manages to tell a proper story by remembering what you've done. When you find the postcard in this mailbox, it tells you to cross off H2 on this sheet. Later, when you do something that requires the postcard, it will say if H2 and send you to a different entry that you wouldn't have seen otherwise. It gives the world depth. Places and items evolve, and you'll come back to them and use them again for something else. And that's how you port a point-and-click adventure to a board game. It's run on the lightest of analog consoles. A deck of cards, a flipbook, a grid of numbers, and a red thingy. But a console is nothing without a fun game. Thankfully, Cantaloop has that too.
Phew, validation. You know, they call me Hook because I'm always fishing for compliments.
The fear with a game like this is that it would pose no challenge, that it's just a convoluted way to experience a story. But no, it's tough. It plays like a good escape room. Every potato and piece of dental floss is a key. You've just got to work out where it fits. The trouble is, I've got 8 items and about 20 places to use them. I can't brute force it. I have to get creative and think like MacGyver. So when you do finally have a breakthrough, it feels like you achieved something. At times you'll get stuck and try something in desperation that doesn't make any sense, and the game knows that. The designer has programmed it to laugh in your face, like some kind of Dennis Nedry.
You want me to throw the clock at the moon? You're a lunatic. Luna-tick. Get it?
And when you do finally work it out, you always think, of course. And that's so important for a game like this. Everything makes sense. You don't feel cheated by a puzzle that doesn't jive with the rest of the game. The number of escape room games that I've played where I've spent ages trying to figure something out, give up, ask for a clue, and it's the most infuriating of solutions. I get mad at the game for wasting my time. It doesn't just break your spirit, it breaks your immersion in the story. Cantaloupe never takes you for granted like that. And if you do hit a wall, it happened to us a few times, it's really easy to get help. Using your progress card, you look up the right section in the back of the book. Cantaloupe definitely owes a debt to escape rooms.
What? I thought if you escaped, you didn't have to pay.
The way you combine items to solve problems feels like the Unlock series, but I much prefer Cantaloupe's approach. It's quicker and it doesn't involve mental arithmetic. It also doesn't rely on tiresome tricks like having to stare endlessly at cards to find hidden numbers. And it doesn't hand you a bunch of colors and numbers that have nothing to do with the story and expect you to find another 4-digit code. In case you can't tell, I'm pretty burned out on escape room games. I haven't played one in over a year. Something else I haven't done in a year is make a review of an individual game. I've wanted to do it for Cantaloupe, not because it's my favorite game ever, it's not, but because it deserves attention. It does something different, and it does it with conviction.
Jon, I'm blushing. Or I would be if you could animate that.
The closest game I've ever played to Cantaloupe is one of the Cosmos adventure games. And by close, I mean light years apart. That game had decent mechanisms, a solid puzzle, it was an okay game, and nothing more. There's an attitude in the board game industry at times of, well, the gameplay is strong, what does it matter that the art is outdated, the story's poorly thought out, the theme feels like a million other games, the box is unappealing, the graphic design is ugly, and the rulebook sucks. We're here to play games, and the gameplay is what you should focus on. All I wanted to do is tell you about a game I love. I don't want to set up lights or faff around with a microphone. I don't want to script what I'm going to say or edit it. God, I don't want to edit it. So let's get rid of all of that. It's the review that matters, right? In Cantaloupe, you're sort of going around to all these different places and you're getting items, and then you use those items to like put them with other things so you can go other places. And you can play it solo. We played it cooperatively. I think it would work quite well solo, but also you can, play it cooperatively, and that worked well for us. Delivery is important. You don't want to watch ugly, poorly made YouTube videos, and I don't want to play ugly, poorly made board games. Cantaloupe has character.
Thanks.
It builds a goofy world with a ridiculous criminal,
Hey.
and it fills it full of funny details. Every bit of text, every location, every puzzle is born out of that character. And it's that which makes Cantaloupe feel like a video game. Cantaloupe is a peach, and that's coming from a reviewer who hates melons. But watermelon this is.